She was just a black waiter. But her kindness changed a billionaire's life. Forever in the middle of a chaotic Tokyo night, a wealthy, arrogant billionaire stumbled out of a luxury bar, completely drunk and oblivious to the dangers around him. No one wanted to help him. They saw only his wealth and his mistakes. But one black waiter noticed something others ignored: a desperate man in trouble and a chance to make a difference. What started as a simple act of kindness would spiral into a life-altering twist that no one could have predicted. By the time dawn broke, not only had lives been changed, but an entire Japanese restaurant industry would never see the same face again. Amina had been working at Sakura Nights, a small yet exquisite Japanese restaurant tucked away in the bustling streets of Shibuya. Despite the restaurant's quiet elegance, her life outside its sliding doors was far from serene. She had faced subtle discrimination her whole life, being overlooked for promotions, enduring assumptions about her abilities, and constantly being underestimated because of her race. Every day, she carried a quiet determination to prove herself, to show that her talent, intelligence, and kindness could not be measured by her skin color. That night, as the city's neon lights flickered against the wet pavement from an earlier rain, Amina noticed a commotion outside. A man, clearly intoxicated, was leaning against a taxi stand, muttering incoherently. Patrons passed by, wary of getting involved. But something about the man drew her attention. Not fear, but a strange sense of responsibility. Her gut told her that this moment, fleeting as it might be, could define something bigger. When she stepped outside to help, she immediately noticed the telltale signs of privilege masking vulnerability. The man wore a tailored suit, shiny shoes, and an air of entitlement, yet his unsteady steps and vacant gaze revealed fragility beneath the billionaire persona. Amina didn't flinch. She guided him carefully to her restaurant's quiet side entrance, ensuring no one could exploit or mock him. Little did she know, this simple act of humanity would ignite a chain of events, bridging wealth, power, and racial injustice in a way no one could foresee. Once inside, Amina helped the man, whose name she learned was Hiroshi, to a chair, fetched water, and quietly ensured he was safe. She observed his trembling hands, the rapid heartbeat visible through his expensive silk shirt. While other employees whispered about the billionaire's reputation, Amina didn't judge. She only focused on his immediate safety. Hours passed as she monitored him, carefully removing him from harm, bringing him comfort, and treating him with dignity. In those long hours, Hiroshi's facade began to crack. He spoke incoherently at first, then with fleeting moments of clarity, revealing a side of himself no one ever saw. Loneliness, regret, and a deep guilt over how he had treated people in the past. He admitted he had been cruel to employees, dismissive of those who served him, and blind to the systemic inequities that his wealth had insulated him from. Amina listened quietly, her presence a stark contrast to the sycophants and opportunists who usually surrounded him. By dawn, Hiroshi was sobered by exhaustion and the unusual weight of self-reflection. Amina, still calm, handed him a small notebook. "Write what you feel, not what you want others to hear," she said softly. It was a gesture of trust, but also of expectation. Over the next few weeks, a remarkable transformation began. Hiroshi returned to Sakura Nights, not as a demanding guest, but as a student of humility. He observed, learned, and slowly began to understand the layers of discrimination and injustice that Amina and countless others faced daily. The restaurant became an unlikely classroom. Amina shared insights about management, customer care, and the cultural nuances that Hiroshi had always ignored. In turn, he offered insights into investment, strategy, and operations, but only when she invited him. Slowly, their professional relationship shifted into a partnership founded on mutual respect. Yet the racial undertones of the initial interactions lingered in the background, shaping every decision. One evening, months later, Hiroshi's transformation culminated in a bold move. He announced during a private dinner at Sakura Nights that he wanted Amina to take ownership of a branch of the restaurant chain he was investing in. The room froze. Colleagues exchanged stunned glances. Whispers of disbelief filled the air. Could a black waiter, someone historically marginalized and underestimated, be entrusted with running a Japanese restaurant backed by a billionaire? Amina's hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from the weight of the moment. This was more than business. It was a statement against centuries of bias and prejudice, against assumptions about race, wealth, and status. She realized that her simple act of kindness, the choice to see humanity in a drunken stranger, had shattered invisible barriers. Hiroshi, now sober, humbled, and introspective, looked her in the eyes and said, "I've been blind, but you showed me the way. This restaurant will succeed because of you, not despite you." It wasn't just an offer. It was redemption, a public acknowledgement that her talent and integrity could not be ignored. Amina accepted, aware that this move would inspire countless others who had faced discrimination. It was a victory not just for her, but for the principle that fairness and competence transcend the color of one's skin. Under Amina's leadership, the new restaurant flourished. Patrons praised its authenticity, the quality of service, and the warmth that permeated every corner. Employees reported feeling valued and respected, finally free from the subtle biases that had long shadowed similar workplaces. Word spread quickly, and Amina became a symbol of what could happen when kindness, talent, and resilience intersected with opportunity. Beyond the restaurant's success, the story sent ripples through social media and business circles. Articles celebrated her journey, highlighting both the racial obstacles she overcame and the humanity that allowed her to see potential where others saw entitlement. Hiroshi, transformed by her empathy, continued to advocate for fairness, mentoring other executives and recognizing their own biases. The most profound takeaway wasn't the billionaire's redemption or the restaurant's profitability. It was the reminder that acts of kindness can challenge systemic injustice in ways that money, power, or authority never could. Amina's story became a quiet revolution, a black waiter who refused to ignore injustice, who chose compassion over judgment, ultimately reshaping the life of a billionaire and inspiring countless others to do the same. And as the lights of Tokyo shimmered on the wet streets outside, one question lingered in the minds of those who heard her story. What barriers could you break if you treated every person, not their wealth or race, as human first?